Hello, and thank you for joining us on ABC24 This Week. I am your host, Pepper Baker. You are here for the big stories behind the real stories, and I hope you'll continue to join us every Sunday at either 9 a.m. or 10:35 p.m. or on our 24 Plus streaming app. All right, let's see who's at the table today. As always, ABC24 political analyst Otis Sanford, Deidre Malone with the Carter Malone Group, and Sam Hardiman with the Daily Memphian. I love this panel, y'all. My consistent ones. I love it. All right, let's get to the topics. First, we'll talk about the legislation progress for the potential state takeover of MSCS. Then whether the Memphis-Shelby County Crime Commission's latest data aligns with the Memphis Safe Task Force's narrative on fighting crime in the city. And lastly, what it takes to run in a Shelby County election. Okay, let's get back to number one. Tennessee State Representative Mark White and Senator Brent Taylor are working on legislation to create a board of managers to serve for 3 years with an optional 3-year extension. MSCS would have to have their proposed budget and any contracts worth $50,000 or more approved by this oversight board. Now, members of the oversight board would need to live in Shelby County. The governor would appoint 5, while the speakers of the Tennessee House of Representatives and Tennessee Senate would each select 2 members. The bill did not pass in the House on Wednesday, so it's back in the state Senate's hands and will need to go before a conference committee for further discussion. Here's what Representative Mark White and MSCS's interim superintendent Roderick Richmond said about the legislation this week.
I've lived in Memphis since 1966, and we as our city schools hasn't been performing for a long time. As I mentioned earlier, we have our municipal schools, Germantown and Carville, Lakeland, Arlington, Bartlett, and Millington, and they are performing right around 69% proficient. Most of those districts. Memphis-Shelby County schools are still around 24 to 25%. So I think it's time for intervention, that we've got to find out what we're not doing within our K through 12 local school system in Memphis, that we're not advancing the needle. So we just feel like we need a strong 9-member board of managers to have the authority to say this is the way that we need to look into and change some things.
I would never be in favor of state takeover. And what I would say is partnership over punishment. Our board made a decision that was within their rights. When I look at what we've been asked to do, we haven't avoided any of the challenges that we've been asked to address.
Now, that decision that Dr. Richmond was referring to with the school board was the firing of former MSCS Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans in 2025, last January. So, Otis, I want you to start it off here. Yeah. 1, what do you think of the legislation? And 2, how likely is it going to pass in this legislative session?
Well, I think there's a good chance that it will pass as long as they can finally get Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally on board. He has been sort of against it up to this point because he wants more local control from elected leaders here in town. Primarily, he's mentioned the mayor, county mayor, Lee Harris, and others. But it seems now, based on what has happened over the last several days, that Brent Taylor and probably Mark White are saying that they don't want the county mayor involved. And as a matter of fact, Brent Taylor went so far as to say he does not trust the county mayor anymore to be involved in this, nor the county commission. And he cited their opposition to the task force, the surge that's going on. Well, what does the surge have to do with the education that we're talking about here? So I just think that this is, as Richmond did say, this sounds like some punishment that's going on here. But I think at the end of the day, when we have the legislature that we have, majority, supermajority Republican, it's probably going to pass.
Deidre, I want to ask you, helping our viewers to understand what the loss of local control could look like for the school district if the state does bring in this oversight board.
Well, I think it could be tragic because you'll have the governor and the speakers making appointments. We don't know what these individuals, what their backgrounds will be. And from an election standpoint, I think that voters made the decision to elect these elected school board members, and it's their responsibility to hold them accountable. if the Tennessee legislature is serious about working with Memphis and Shelby County schools, then they should have a committee to work directly with the school system on some of the challenges, not put some board that is not elected to manage elected individuals. How insulting is it when you have to go to a non-elected group of individuals to get a $50,000 or more a resolution approved? You know, they were not elected. The elected board were elected. So this is tragic. I do think that it will pass, and my hope that if it does pass, that the school board decides that they will sue the state, because I think that, you know, you're trampling on an elected body that you shouldn't be. If they want to work with them to help elevate and move the needle on education, put together a committee at the state level of elected officials and work with these elected officials down here. Don't put somebody over them.
We are talking about a $2 billion budget here, and the
Right.
two big things that were really sticking out of that legislation was that the MSCS district would have to get that budget approved by the oversight board and contracts worth $50,000 or more. So Sam, in your reporting over the years, why do you think the legislation focuses primarily on those two things?
Well, I mean, first I would defer to my colleague Laura Chestino, who's done great work on this at the Daily Memphian. Please go read her stuff. But you know, there has been skepticism sometime for the size of Memphis Shelby County Schools budget, and then quote the outcomes that are had by the students there. First, I want to back up to something Representative White said. He mentioned all of the municipal school districts largely achieving better than Memphis Shelby County Schools. Those are smaller school districts that have an easier mode of operation. Okay, it's pretty easy. As a former K-12 reporter in Tulsa, it's big ships are hard to move. Medium ships are easier to move. Second, all of those municipalities have lower poverty rates than the city of Memphis that are serving these neighborhood schools. And so, my question would be, how does a state-appointed oversight board change the underlying conditions on the ground in Memphis and Shelby County and that these students face every day and the challenges that they face every day? I'm not certain it does. At the same time, as someone who's reported on a giant budget in MLG&W for years, the city of Memphis for years, there's a reason the Memphis mayor has contracting authority, first of all. There's a reason that there's a high threshold for contracts at Memphis like gas and water. It's going to take a long time to approve a lot of $50,000 contracts in a giant budget. I'm sorry, that seems like a slow government process. Like, just as someone who's observed government professionally for a while, it seems like it's going to take a little bit.
Those are really good points.
I think Sam hit on something that a lot of people, and especially Republicans, don't want to talk about, and that's the poverty issue here. Poverty affects the education just like it affects crime. You know, I was on with Bill O'Reilly not long ago, and I brought up poverty as an issue around this surge, and he didn't want to talk about it because nobody wants to talk about that. But that is an issue here. And the fact is that over the last couple of years, Memphis Shelby County Schools has had some gains.
Exactly.
And matter of fact, higher than the state, as I recall. Now, it's still low, but they're incremental gains. And so I think this is a draconian measure. And, you know, I'll let the Republicans like Mark White and Brent Taylor and Cameron Sexton say what they need to say in defense of this. But I just feel like putting this advisory board in place is not going to solve the issues, and Sam hit the nail on it. It's not. They're not going to solve poverty and raise the level of scholastic achievement in the schools.
Well, I guess my concern is, I mean, it's major overreach, and the city council and the county commission need to be concerned too. One blip, and you could have overreach just like the school board. So pay attention to what's happening at the state level, because it too can happen to you.
I'll make one last question here. Dr. Richmond talked about how we need to eliminate competition and make it more of a partnership. So is there a world where the state and the local district can partner without oversight, per se?
I think so, absolutely. There's an education committee at the state level. Have that education committee work with the superintendent and the school board. Let the school board go up to the state and report out what they're doing, you know, and have conversations about it. I think they can work together. This is just very tragic if it moves forward, and I think it will.
Okay.
I don't think they can. And the reason I say that is because listen to the rhetoric here. I mean, again, you have Brent Taylor saying, I don't trust people anymore. And I don't trust them because of something else not having to do with education. They don't want the surge, so I don't trust them anymore. I'm just not sure that we will have the kind of collaboration that Deidre is talking about, because everything I hear from the, except for Randy McNally, is it's my way or the highway, and I just don't see it.
Well, Otis, I think the optics are really horrible. I mean, you've got a majority female, majority black school board, all right? And you have majority white men at the state legislature trying to tell this black legislative body what they should be doing. It's tragic.
All right, well, to be continued on this. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more about the trending crime or rates and whether that aligns with the Memphis Safe Task Force narrative. We'll be right back.